Okay, so we just did the how to just blend the shapes, and I'm sure someone is going to say, "Well, I saw that I could blend the colors, and how does that work?" And it's kind of neat, but it's not a great way to choose exact colors. But I'll just show you really quickly. So I've got these two shapes. There's a circle or an ellipse, and there's a square, right? And you can see that I have a black stroke, and there's no fill. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe over that stroke, and I'm just going to tell it none, right? I'm clicking on the red line for none, and then I'm going to click up at the top there for the fill, right? So remember, the fill is the square and the stroke is the outline around it. And I need to go and find some colors. I don't necessarily like picking color from a color spectrum. And I'm just going to go Window, and I'm going to scroll down to Swatches. And your color library should load with the basic swatches, right? And if you're ever working on the lab computers and someone has removed the basic swatches, if you just go to the drop down and you open swatch library, and then you can just kind of go over to default, right? And you could click on print, and it will open up the default print color swatches for you. So anyway, again, I have the square is selected, the fill is at the top, and I'm just going to click on a color like this magenta color. And then if I click off, you'll notice that as it shows in the swatch, I have a shape that's magenta filled with no stroke around it. And I'll swipe over the circle, and you can see it has a black stroke, and I'm going to click on the stroke, right, to bring it to the front. I'm going to say none. I'm going to click on the fill to bring it to the front, and I'll pick a color, maybe this kind of acidy green color. And so you'll notice I have two shapes, the green circle and the pink square. Okay, and I can highlight both of these shapes, and I'm just going to go Object, Blend, and I always just go to the options just so that I can see what's happening. And 12 was kind of the default on this computer, but 12 will give you a lot of options, right? And I'm going to hit OK, and they're both still selected, and I'm just going to say Object, Blend, and then I'm going to make the blend. And so you can see, right, that it's blended the shapes from the pink square all the way down to the green circle. And again, I can't necessarily click on any of these yet. I just have to click on the blended object, and then I'm just going to say Object, Blend, and Expand. So that expands it into all the different elements. There are 12 elements. And if I go Object, Ungroup, okay, click off, now you'll notice that I can kind of scroll over each object, and it will allow me to grab each object out of there. And again, it's not like a super it's not a super exact way to kind of choose colors, but it could be a neat way to just kind of work quickly and make several different shapes, right, from a circle to a square, and several different color choices. So it can be a quick way to create a palette in different shapes. Okay, so now we're going to move on to making those complex paths.